The 5 street lights were on when she entered the small town. There had been a cattle market that day, and drunken farmers with sticks were still trying to find their own cattle in dark corners of the main street. As she reached the commercial hotel, Mary heard loud conversation inside and men singing in the bar. She didn't want to go in through the front door, in case someone saw her and told her father she'd gone into the public bar. So she went to the back door. It was open, but she knocked before entering. 2 girls rushed to the door. One was Doris O'Byrne. She was famous for being the only Doris in the whole town, and for the fact that one of her eyes was blue and the other dark brown. "God, I thought it was someone important," she said, when she saw Mary standing there, blushing, pretty, and with a bottle of cream in her hand. Another girl. There were far too many girls in the town. Girls like Mary with matching eyes and long, wavy hair. "Come in or stay out," said Ethna Duggan, the second girl, to Mary. It was supposed to be a joke, but neither of the town girls liked Mary. They hated shy, mountainy people. Mary came in carrying the cream, which her mother had sent to Mrs. Rogers as a present. She put it on the table and took off her coat. The girls whispered to each other and giggled when they saw her dress. The kitchen smelt of cattle and fried food. Mrs. Rogers came in from the bar to speak to her. "Mary, I'm glad you came. These 2 girls are no use at all, always giggling. Now, the first thing to do is to move the heavy furniture out of the sitting room upstairs, but not the piano. We're going to have dancing and everything." Quickly, Mary realized she was being given work to do, and she blushed with shock and disappointment. She thought of her good black dress and how her mother wouldn't even let her wear it to church on Sundays. She might tear it or dirty it. "And then we have to start cooking the goose," Mrs. Rogers said, and went on to explain that the party was for Mr. Brogan, the local customs officer who was leaving his job. "There's someone here expecting me," Mary said, trembling with the pleasure of being about to hear his name spoken by someone else. She wondered which room was his, and if he was likely to be in at that moment. Already in her imagination, she was knocking on his door and could hear him inside. "Expecting you?" Mrs. Rogers said, looking puzzled for a moment. "Oh, that young man from the factory was asking about you. He said he saw you at a dance once. A strange one he is." "What man?" Mary said, as she felt the happiness leaking out of her heart. But Mrs. Rogers heard the men in the bar shouting for her to refill their empty glasses, and she hurried out without replying. Upstairs, Doris and Ethna helped Mary move the heavy furniture out of the sitting room. The 2 town girls shared jokes with each other, giggled at Mary behind her back, and ordered her around like a servant. She dusted the piano and cleaned the floor. She'd come for a party. She wished she were at home. At least with cattle and chickens, it was clean dirt. Then, Ethna and Doris told Mary to get the glasses ready, and they went away to drink a secret bottle of beer in the bathroom. "She's crying like a baby in there," Ethna told Doris, giggling. "God, she looks an idiot in that dress," Doris said. "It's her mother's," Ethna said. "What's she crying about?" wondered Doris. She thought some boy would be here. "Do you remember that boy who stayed here the summer before last with a motorbike?" "The boy with the big nose,"